What is good? What is good, YouTube? Listen, Happy New Year. It is 2026. This is officially the first week of the new year. And I wanted to go live because I wanted to tap in with you and I wanted to give you your marching orders for 2026. I wanted to let you know what you have to do to make your photo and video business explode in this year. You see, last year, 2025, maybe you came into contact with my content later in the year. Maybe you felt like you want to kind of get started once things kind of turned over. But listen, time waits for no man. The new year is here and it is go time. So if you were wondering what my recommendations are, what you should be doing, what you should be focusing on, then I got you covered. So let's get right into it. Shout out to Tisha. Um, Hold on, COT 11 duck sauce. Shout out to you. Hey, we about to get it popping. All right. Now, listen, before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to you guys, man. Thank you so much for rocking with me. We just hit 3,000 subscribers, y'all. We just hit 3,000 subscribers. And I posted my first YouTube video in February of last year. It was raggedy, not gonna lie. I posted, I think, three or four. Oh, what's going on, Jean? What's good? What's good, homie, from the community? What's going on? I posted, a few videos. They were horrible. They were janky, but I kept running my race. I stayed locked in. I stayed consistent, and y'all, it's just been popping off. So just thank you guys so much for rocking with me. And then before I go any further, man, I want to shout out some new members in the community. Matter of fact, we had two new people that actually joined the community today. We had Patrick, we had John, and then of course, basically, between Thanksgiving and now, man, we've had Thomas, Brandon, Miguel, Will, Jay, Kari, another Jay Wilson, Kareem, Satilia, what up, girl? Danny, Dominique, Christopher, Karen, George, John, what's good, John? I see you. Gabriel, Eric, like the list goes on. But yo, shout out to the people who are rocking in the community. It's my goal is just to add as much value as humanly possible. I believe I'm doing that. And so without further ado, I just wanted to thank all of my subscribers, everybody who's tapping in with the corporate community. And with all that being said, guys, let us get our marching orders for 2026. All right. How are we going to make 2026 the best year? How are we going to make our business explode? I got 5 steps for you. Okay. I got 5 steps. Step number one, if you haven't already, I need you to pivot into corporate photo and video. That's actually step one. Some of you watching, you've thought about it, you're thinking about it, you kind of have one foot in and one foot out, but you're not really going all in. And by all in, I mean you got to change that website, you got to change your pricing, you got to whatever it is you were doing before, if it's not popping off, I need you to make a hard and fast pivot into corporate photo and video. But this is why. Number one, bigger deal sizes. You see, you can go shoot a wedding, and if you're lucky, you can make $5,000. Let's just say you're shooting solo, right? You're doing photo only. Listen, you be one lucky son of a gun to make $5,000 shooting one wedding. If you're one of those rare people who can make $10,000 shooting one wedding, by the way, you'd probably have to have a team of 4, by the way, then you're like in the top 1%. And honestly, you're probably shooting like luxury weddings, celebrity weddings, which is a very small niche of the wedding industry. But for the average person, you're making like 3,000, 2,500. Let's just be real. All right, man, you can still be a one-man band and you can go book a 2.5-day conference and you can make $10,000. And that brings me to my next point, repeat clients. If you do a good job with that client, odds are you're about to get that same $10,000 this same time next year. Case in point, I have 5 conferences in April that have been booked since October of last year. My April is already jam-packed. I have conferences on my calendar for September. I have 2 conferences on my calendar for October of this year already. Haven't had to call anybody, haven't had to lift a finger. There's already money on my calendar. Why? Because I made the pivot into corporate photo and video. And of course, the last thing I'll say, in my opinion, I actually believe it's one of the easier niches to do. You do have longer days on your feet, but honestly, let's be real. Corporate photo and video, it's not hard. It really is shooting people, decor, branding, and people on stage talking. It's very, very easy. All right. I'm gonna be real with you. So that's step number one. Make the pivot. Okay. Step number two, you got to increase your skill set. You guys have heard me say this 100 times, but for some reason, you're still not doing it yet. So I need you to snap out of it. And we're here, we're in January. You need to learn event photo and video. You need to learn headshots. I would recommend high volume headshots using Spot My Photos. No, I'm not sponsored, but it's legit. And of course, you need to learn interviews, or what I call video production, interviews, talking head videos. If you can learn all of those skill sets yourself well enough to teach it and to hire associates to shoot for you, you're going to make a lot of money. Your business is going to explode in 2026. But if you're still just doing photo only, if you're still just doing video only, you are leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table. Listen, and listen, I speak from a position of experience. My homies were telling me to do video for years. I was like, y'all got all this equipment. I don't want to buy all that. Man, let me tell you something. I wish I would have started video 5 years earlier than I did. I ain't gonna lie, I'd probably be hitting $1 million a year right now. I kid you not. I have made so much more money learning both services. Okay. Shout out to you, NBC. See you at Imaging. Yes, I will see you at Imaging USA in Nashville 2026. It's actually coming up this weekend, January 11th, 12th, and 13th. I'm flying in on the 11th. Anybody that wants to meet up, side note, anybody that wants to meet up for imaging, man, shoot me an email, info@truelovestudios.com. I'm looking to schedule, quote unquote, maybe like a lunch meetup on lunchtime on the 12th, which is a Monday, I believe. So anyway, back to what I'm saying. You got to increase your skill set. You have to become more valuable to your clients, or what I like to call dangerous. You got to become dangerous, meaning any client, anywhere, any day, any city, any event can get these photos and videos. All right. Next thing, guys, step number 3, you need to get systems. More specifically, you need a CRM. Now, you guys know I'm rocking with Studio Ninja. I've been with them since 2018. I'm an ambassador. You can get 50% off of your first year using the code Corporate Ninja. But whether or not you like them, or you go with like Honeybook, 17 Hats, Tave, it literally doesn't matter. I need you to get a CRM so you can start to keep track of contracts and dates and all these other details that mean something and that matter. The next thing, guys, I recommend you get a Calendly link, a link to schedule time to do your consultation calls. It's very, very common in the corporate world for people to have some sort of scheduling link, and it makes you look more professional if you have one as well. You can sign up for a free account. It's a great way to make it easier for your clients to talk to you and ultimately get to the bag. And last thing I'll say is this, because there's lots of systems I could talk about, right? You need to get a Stripe, or you need to get a, Square, or I think it's Stripe or Square or PayPal account. Because listen, guys, listen. If I see another person request Venmo or Zelle, I'm about to uppercut somebody. Listen, do you think that a corporate client is going to Zelle you $20,000, $10,000, $6,000, and not look at you like an amateur? Come on, man. Listen, and I already know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what about that little 3.5% fee plus 10%? Man, listen, stop being scared. You scared about 3.5% plus 10? Like, come on, man. You listen, you can't not listen. I'm going to say it one last time. Stop being scared. Okay. That's fear talking. I literally don't even know what the fees, it don't even matter. Okay. When you secure the bag, the fees is a part of the game. You got to pay to play. But my point is, you got to have legitimate business systems. Okay. So please stop with the Zelle, stop with the Cash App, stop all that. Okay. Get serious and let's make it pop off. Okay. Um, anyhow, so step four. This is how we're going to make 2026 your greatest year ever for your photo and video business. PPA, pricing, positioning, and authority. So you guys already know, what are you supposed to do? Raise your prices. Listen, you can raise your prices and give yourself an automatic raise year over year by doing the same work. I have several clients who have stuck with me over jumping from 200 per hour to 225 to 325 to now 350. I have many clients that have stayed with me every step of the way. Why? Because I got them in the door, I added value. And like I always say, I would rather you have the client and figure out a way to nurture them versus not have the client at all and complain that you're not making any money. Get the client, raise your prices, stop being scared. Okay. The second thing, your positioning, meaning your website and your portfolio. I need, do I got to throw this microphone? I need you to get a website. Stop playing. It ain't it. Listen, it's not as big a deal as you think it is. It's just a website. Throw it together. Get you a logo on Canva. If you don't know what to call your business, Last Name Studios. Boom, you have your name. Go get you a logo. Get you a website together. Go get some work done. Boost your portfolio, and let's go get this bag. Like, come on, you. You keep seeing these obstacles like, ooh, that's too much to do. And the bag is sitting right there on the ground, two steps beyond that last hurdle. And you just won't even lift your foot up. You won't even try to get over the hurdle. So, if you've been talking about it year over year, month after month, about how you can't wait, how one day, how when the time is right, well, I am telling you that the beginning of the year is the right time. And if this isn't the right time, then you might as well just unsubscribe from the channel and stop talking to me. Because if the beginning of the year isn't the right time, there is no better time. Okay. New start, new budgets, new everything. So the next thing is your authority. I need you to increase your authority in corporate photo and video by knowing what clients want, speaking to their pain points, guiding the conversations towards the things that you want and have a solution to. Okay. I need you to start taking control of consultation calls, of emails. Listen, one more thing. All right. This could be a whole nother live, but I know a lot of people, we have fear and anxiety around, even after we've raised our price, we get afraid to actually say the price to the client. We're on the call and they're like, how much is it? And they're like waiting here with a bag of money. How much is it? And you're like, 2,000, and you should have said 3750. Oh, it's like we are afraid that they're going to push back and that we're going to have to justify why that's the price. And I'm telling you right now, not one client has ever asked me, why is it so much? They might say, I can't afford that, but they're not going to like challenge me on why my price is my price. That's never going to happen. So, whatever that fear is, like really ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I say my price and say it with my chest? The worst that could happen is they say, you're too expensive. And then you say, all right, Susie, dang. All right, well, how much is not too expensive? Like flip it, have fun with it, and let's get this bag. All right. But the last thing we're going to do is be afraid. Okay. Authority. Okay. And last thing, guys, step number 5, we got to get leads. Now that we've made the pivot, now that we have our skill set, now that we have our systems in place, now that we have our pricing, positioning, and authority, the last cherry on top of the cake, right, is getting leads so we can stress test our systems, our pricing, right, our everything, our authority. We got to stress test it. We have to get better at sales calls. We have to get better at our consistent outreach. We have to get better at sending proposals and quotes faster. We have to get better at talking about our pricing with clarity and confidence, regardless of what the number is. But you will not really be able to know whether or not the step 1 through 4 has really materialized for you well, unless we go after leads. Now, let me be really clear on this. I don't want to spend too much time here, but when it comes to leads, you have two ways, right? You have your free and your paid leads, right? You have warm and cold. Your cold is going to be cold call, cold email, maybe calling a friend, even calling, your coworker at your job or whoever's at your job if you have 9 to 5, right? Then you have your paid option, which is going to be your warm leads, typically, right? You have like your thumbtack, your bark. If you guys notice, I never really talk about Google Ads. Here's why. I am speaking to, I hate to use this word, I'm speaking to the average photographer, if I can use that word. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm speaking to the average photographer who is really trying to get the money, but is having a roadblock. And the reason I have actually not used Google Ads, and the reason I don't ever like promise you're going to get rich tomorrow, is because if you're coming in the door and you don't even have these steps laid out, then if I dropped a whole bunch of level 3 and level 4 clients on you, it would crush you. It would decimate you. It would it would smash you to bits on the jagged rocks below. You wouldn't be able to handle it. You don't have the team. You wouldn't charge enough to make enough to bring a team if you had the team. And the list goes on. So the reason why I never talk about like just getting $1 million this year is because you ain't ready for it. What I advocate for in my content, in the community, is I am teaching you how to get it out the mud. I am teaching you how to learn every skill set intimately. So now you can hire an associate and give them their marching orders with clarity and get the same result that you would have gotten if you were there. I'm teaching you how to conduct a sales call so you can close the business and get every dollar that comes into your business. I'm not teaching you like a get rich quick scheme. But my point is you got to get leads. Now, Thumbtack, Bark, those are great avenues. Um, on the cold side, what I talk about, man, you got to email or call 3 people per day, Monday through Friday for 2026. If you do that, I hate to say guarantee, but I'm just going to go out and say it. I guarantee you're going to make some money if you legitimately call or email 3 people per day, Monday through Friday, and you have all of these steps 1 through 4 already complete. I guarantee you are going to make a lot of money in 2026. There's no way you won't. Now, hold on, let me back up. The only way you won't is if you don't have steps 1 through 4 already complete, or when you get on the phone with the consultation, you get frayed and you fumble and you seem unsure. That's the only way I could see that you would not make money. But if you email the people, if you call the people, somebody is going to answer. There are so many of my clients that have been right place, right time, big clients, small clients you ain't never heard of that got money waiting to spend it on somebody. And I just so happened to be the person to call them or email them. And they were like, yeah, we're looking for somebody. I'm like, bet. Got them on the phone, chatted them up, pricing, position, authority, the whole 9 yards. And we out here getting paid. Okay. So do the work, position yourself well. And the last thing I'll say is this before we do our open Q&A, because I always love to chop it up with the community. I love to chop it up on YouTube. Listen to me. I'm going to be very clear. There's no way you can misinterpret what I'm about to say. Your goal is not to be the best. I'm going to say it again while I sip my tea. Give me one moment. Bag secured, okay? I'm going to say it one more time. Your goal in 2026 is not to be the best, because I'm not the best. I'm telling you guys, I regularly, honestly give myself like a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10 as far as skill level. If you average it out between photo and video, I give my photo probably an 8 or a 9. I'd give my video, because video gets so nuanced, I'd probably give myself like a 6, right? I'm gonna give myself 6.5, 7 on average, but I am not the best. But your goal is not to be the best. Your goal is to be the best that your clients has spoken to. That's the goal. You see, you think that everybody out there has talked to every client, but there's a client right now who have been talking to some janky photographers, photographers who are accepting Venmo payments, who don't deliver on time, who aren't professional, who don't have the skill, whose work is trash, who's late, who like they have talked to bad people. And if you were to call them or email them at the right time, if they were to bump into you and become familiar with who you are, they would hire you on the spot. I am telling you, you don't have to be the best, because I'm not the best. You just have to be their best option at the moment that you talk to them. If you do that, you will get clients. Okay. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. These are your marching orders for 2026. This is how you're going to make 2026 pop off for what I believe and hope is your corporate photo and video business. All that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into live Q&A. Let me go ahead and throw up the banner, because that's just what I do, because I'm on StreamYard. Boom, live Q&A. Hold on one second. And so as you guys start to drop your questions in the chat, I'm just going to start to go through some of the comments, shout out some of my people from the community, some of my longtime subscribers. Like I said, we got Tisha, we got Edward out there in California, getting to the bag, getting double booked. I see you out there. We got Jean, what's good? We got CJ from the community as well. Good to see you. Facts, you need to have that planner connect. Yes, indeed. We got Pixel Studios tuning in from the Bahamas, man. Thanks for sharing, JT. Continue to do well, man. Salute to you, man. Thanks for tapping in with us. See you at Imaging. Yes, just to double check for those that are joining, I will be attending Imaging USA. That's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee this year. If you would like to connect with me, I'm looking to do some sort of meetup, quote unquote, on January the 12th around lunchtime. So if you want to, drop me an email, info@truelovestudios.com. I would love to shake your hand, dap you up, and talk about how we're going to get to this bag in 2026. Eric, Stripe is legit. Love it. Yes, I jumped ship from PayPal to Stripe maybe 2 years ago. I love it. It is legit. This is what I need to work on this year. Have an authority. Yeah, man. Listen. You think that because you're not making $5 million a year, that you're not an authority. But let me tell you something. You are an authority to anybody who cannot do what you do, and they couldn't do what you do if their life is on the line. If you walk into a room and you have a skill set that no one else in the room has, you are the official authority in the room. And like I said, you're not supposed to be the best in the world, but I'm going to be the best they've ever met. And so when I get on the phone, I talk like I'm the best option that they have talked to, and we let the chips fall where they may. All right, but go for it, and then we'll see what happens versus not going for it. Okay. Hold on. He said, talk to these people delivering images through Google Drive. Listen. When you talk about systems, if you don't have a shoot proof, if you don't have a pick time, if you don't have a Pixie set, if you don't have a smug bug, if you don't have a professional way to get your photos to your clients, then I don't, let me watch my words. But listen, you wonder why you're not getting to the bag. All your touch points got to be on point. Okay, you can't be a 10 in skill level and a 2 in professionalism. That's not how it works. All your touch points have to rise to a certain level, including how you deliver your images to your clients. Okay. CJ Medic said 5 to 6 emails a day over here, man. Shout out to you. Mac Beam Pro, definitely at 3 and 4 level, which is a blessing. So my next step is to really tap into getting more leads. Yeah. So shout out to you, Mac. So the thing that if you haven't watched my video about the 4 levels of photo and video, level 1 is going to be like your mixer event. It's going to be like, anywhere between like 2 and 4 hours, a networking mixer, a little cocktail situation. You get a little bag off of that. Level 2 is what I call the day rate. You might get, 6 to 8 hours, one day only. you might make a day rate 2, 3,000. That's a great stepping stone, right? That's a huge bump. Level three is what I call the multi-day conference. That's when you're shooting 2.5 days, 3.5 days, 5 days. That's when your bag goes up to like 5, 6, 7, 10K minimum. But that's when a lot of people start to see the $20,000, right? And beyond. And then, of course, level four is what I call the experience. It's a retreat, right? It usually involves hopping on a flight. It's like somewhere tropical at a winery, a wine tasting, doing yoga on a mountainside, right? Something like that, doing Pilates with goats in the hills or whatever. Those are your level 3 and 4 events. And that's when you're really going to start to get the bag. But level 3 and 4, you ain't sending that payment through Zelle. All right. Come on now. At least 5 a day has definitely been a game changer for me. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. On your site, you have, okay, so it looks like we have a question right here. On your site, you have 7K for full coverage. What does that look like? Is that video, drone photo, or just an hourly coverage? Yes, that's everything. I don't charge separately for drone. I don't have my drone license. I don't even really add that as a line item. I just get a drone shot if I can. But that is for photo and video. And remember, that is going to be essentially anything beyond 8 hours. You want two people, it's going to run you about 7,000. And kind of going back to the last point, once you get like a multi-day event like that, that's when you can make like the $15,000 bag, $20,000 bag. Very, very easy. Very, very easy. Good evening from Flash Media Groups. What is good? What is good? Coming from a background in the oil rigs, at what point did you develop the strategic mindset needed to navigate the corporate world and land high-level clients? So I didn't go straight from the oil field. For those that don't know, I used to be in the oil field. I didn't go straight from there into it. I bought my first camera while I was working in the oil field, but I just bought it just because I needed something to do in my spare time. I actually didn't start really taking my camera seriously until after I got out the oil field. But it really isn't about a strategic mindset. It's just making your mind fine tuned to recognize good opportunities when they happen and then acting on that opportunity. A lot of people, um, you know, well, let me back up. So for those that don't know the story, basically, I was doing weddings, wasn't liking it, was actually thinking about quitting. And then I looked over the money I made in 2022 and realized that I think 60% of the money I made was actually from corporate work. But because I didn't really do too many corporate gigs because it's super, super easy, it was weird. It's like it kind of flew under the radar. That's when the light bulb went off. I said, dang, like without even realizing it, most of my money came from corporate photo and video. So guess what? All my money needs to come from corporate photo and video. And a week later, I had like action oriented. A week later, I done pivoted. So it really wasn't about strategy. It was just like, what would be easier? What makes more sense? And then right when that happened, that's also when I started learning video. So I was doing a lot of things at the same time. And then slowly but surely, you start level one events, level two. Next thing you know, your client's calling you for level three, level four. It's just like an inevitability. All right. It really is what it is, but you have to start somewhere. Okay. Um, how do you personally calculate your day rate? That's a great question. So, for those that know, in the community, I do have a pricing masterclass. Your day rate should be 10 times your hourly rate. If your hourly rate is 300, your day rate is 3,000, so on and so forth. If for those of you who are in the community, you have access to the pricing masterclass. If you are not in the community, you can actually go purchase the masterclass. But honestly, it would actually be better if you just join the community because you'll get that masterclass plus the other masterclass plus the other value plus access to me and everyone else in the community. But yeah, that's how you calculate your day rate. At least that's how I do it. And then don't forget that a day rate is anything that is 8 hours or more. So if it's 9 hours, day rate. If it's 12 hours, a day rate. But over time, it averages out. Sometimes you win and they book you for 9 hours. Sometimes you lose, quote unquote, and they book you for 12. But over the course of a year, it averages out. Okay. Shout out to Preezy. That's my boy out there in Brooklyn, man. We actually just chopped it up yesterday. Shout out to the corporate JT in the community. Let's get to the bag, man. Shout out to you, man. I'm excited for how we're gonna make it pop off this year. Prosperity 1750. I have a Sony a7 IV and III with several lenses, including the Tamron 35 to 150. Let's go. Is that enough to get started? I live in LA, or is that Louisiana? Louisiana, right? Yeah, yeah. Or LA. Listen, it doesn't matter where you live. Um, A7 IV, that's going to be your video camera because it has eye autofocus for video, which is what you're going to need. And your A7 III, that's your photo camera. For those that don't know, I had an A7 III for about 5.5 years. And I still have those cameras today. Matter of fact, they're actually both right there on the shelf. I still have the two A7 IIIs that I bought back in like 2019. Those are the cameras I use for headshots. The question is several lenses. You have a 3150, that's your photo lens. And then let's say you wanted to do a video interview, as long as you have like a 35, even a 50 millimeter. And then by God's good grace, if you have a 70 to 200 that you can get a back of the room shot, I ain't gonna lie, you can make it pop off. Now, just for context, when I started my video journey, all I had was an A7 III and a Tamron 28 to 75. That's how I started my video career. I shot one conference with that one camera and one lens only. And that video got me hired for my next conference in New York. And then that next year it popped off. So listen, even if whether or not I say you're ready, you shouldn't don't lean on me too heavily to answer that question. Your predisposition should be to just go and see, to just try it and shoot something with it. And your experience will tell you if you have enough. But you got enough. All right, let's go make it pop off. Jesus Reyes, would you recommend cold calling businesses or event producers or going to the Chamber of Commerce to network? All right, so I actually talked about this, I think, on my last live. Do it all. Do it all. Jesus Reyes, everybody else who's listening to the sound of my voice, do it all. There really isn't one best thing because this is what's going to happen. You're going to cold call and get a few clients from here, right? Well, let me back up. These are all the clients, right? Some clients you can cold call, you get a few there. Some clients you can cold email, you get a few there. Some clients are on Bark and nowhere else. Some clients are on Thumbtack and nowhere else. Some clients you'll find through the Chamber of Commerce and nowhere else. Your job is to dip your toe into all these lead streams. You'll get 2 clients from here, 3 from there, 1 from there, 1 from this weird place over here. It's going to add up. You're going to have 10 to 12 clients for the year. So my answer is literally do it all, and let's see what you can find. R. Higgins 86. Do you work with nonprofits, nonprofit events? How do you scale or adjust pricing if you do? So absolutely, I work with nonprofits. Now, historically, nonprofits are going to have tighter budgets. That's just a reality. So when you talk to a nonprofit, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still in, client acquisition mode. I don't think I'll ever not be. I have kind of taken my foot off the gas because things are going well, but I am usually in client acquisition mode. So when I get on the phone with the nonprofit, I am already assuming that I'm about to give a discount or they're not going to really have the full budget. I'm like, as long as it isn't too low, I do have like an hourly rate that I will not go below. And now the question is, how do you adjust pricing? I don't have it listed on my website, but what I can do is I'll say, hey, I'll give you, obviously with the nonprofit, we don't charge sales tax. Then on top of that, I can give you a 10% nonprofit discount. That's usually the best I'll do. Right. But I'm going to take a brief aside. There is one thing that I need to talk about. It is setting hourly minimums because you guys know I talk about giving a discount. But the question is, how much of a discount? So let's say your hourly rate is 300, right? The question is, how low should I go? My hourly minimum, guys, I will go as low as 200 per hour for a client. I'll go as low as 200 per hour. So when they're telling like, hey, I need, 2 days, 12 hours, here's my budget. I'm like, well, here is my price. They're like, we can't do it. We could do this. I'm like, give me one moment. 5,000 divided by 12 or whatever the number is. And if that number is below 200, I'm going to decline that client or I'm going to recommend them to one of my industry peers, and they have the option to decline or accept. But if it's above 200, I will still take it. That's my rule. And I realized I had never said that publicly until now. But that's my rule. I don't go below 200. Now, for you, that number might be 150. For some people, they might not, they might be like, hey, I ain't going below 250. But for me, what has worked historically is I will not go below 200. So anything between 200 and 350 is fair game. Um, and then we're just gonna let the chips fall where they may, okay? And so let me take a step back, guys. Thank you so much for the questions. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Let me get a little sip of my tea real quick because you know my throat be janky sometimes when I'm talking. There we go. There we go. Next question. I have a question in your experience. Do planners typically begin sourcing media teams this early, or do paid platforms tend to perform better closer to the event dates as the planning cycle tightens? That's a great question. I would say historically, if you are a new vendor and they're searching for a new vendor, I would say maximum, I'm thinking like 4 months in advance, but usually like 1 to 2. But then if they are a repeat client, they might book you 8, 9 months out. So if they know they're gonna hire you, then it's like, "Hey, here's the new," like, as soon as they have the new date for the conference, they'll email you, "Hey, add the date to your calendar," right? I will say platforms like Thumbtack and Bark, those are typically going to be much closer to the event on average. Matter of fact, in the community, I just posted a consultation call I did on Tuesday, and I booked that, and I found them on Thumbtack. The event's in 2 weeks, right? You're typically going to find closer stuff on those marketplace platforms because the marketplace platforms are just like, hey, I need a quick photo and video person like pretty soon. So that's usually what my experience has been like. Thanks for the question. When do you personally recommend going hard on paid platforms for corporate work throughout the year, such as Bark, etc.? Um, so here's the thing: going hard on Bark or Thumbtack, there really is no such thing. Leads come through on Bark and Thumbtack daily. So I wouldn't say there's a time to like really go for it. I would just say that you need to make sure you dial in your Bark and Thumbtack settings very precisely so that when your phone does ring, it will grab your attention a little bit better because you know that you've already filtered so many people out who like don't have the budget or blah blah blah, right? So um I would say it's not really about a specific time. It's just about preparing and being ready, honestly. Now, if I had to give you an answer though, conference, the first busy season of the year is March, April, May. So honestly, January, February, there's a lot of people looking for people for like March, April, May. Then I would say around June, July, people are looking for September, October. So I would say like January, February, you'll probably get a lot of leads on Bark. And then like June, July, you'll probably get a lot of leads on Bark for the two busy seasons. So if I had to give an answer, those be the two times that I would say really go for it. And then Prosperity says Los Angeles. Man, listen, you can make it pop off in LA with the cameras and lenses that you mentioned. I actually do quite a bit of work out in San Francisco, San Mateo, Monterey, um, Sonoma, Napa. I've done a lot of work out there, San Diego. So if you're in LA, you have access to all that. You can run it up. All right. Contreras Production. How does one join the community? Let me drop a link into the chat situation. Give me 1 second. All right. So I will drop a link into the chat. I just did that. And then I think I think I'll just add this ticker right here. Join the corporate community, link in comments. So yeah, go ahead and tap in, or if you go to my YouTube page, you can see that there as well. So anyway, guys, man, I appreciate you guys. I don't see too many more questions. We're at the 40-minute mark. Didn't know how long I'd be on live this evening, but as always, guys, like I appreciate y'all. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for supporting me. And just thank you for allowing me to add value and help you guys get to the bag. All right. So All that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Listen, if you are interested in content just like this, that's going to help you grow and scale your corporate photo and video business, I hope you know you are actually in the right place. Make sure that after you get off this video, you like, you share, you subscribe, and listen. If you do not want to join the corporate community, I get it. Money is tight, economy is janky. Make sure you download the Corporate Pivot Checklist. It is a free resource that's going to give you somewhat of a blueprint to help you make that pivot from underwater basket weaving photography right into the corporate photo and video space. Okay. And Mac Beam, all right, we're going to give the last question of the evening to Mac Beam. He had a question about outreach above. Go ahead and shoot. Actually, let's do two questions. Best white balance tip for mixed lighting. Guys, listen. If you've ever gone to my website, if you've ever looked on any of my vlogs, with the exception of headshots, because that's a controlled environment, I have been shooting auto white balance for probably close to a decade. I kid you not. I do not change my white balance from room to room, outdoors to indoors. I don't do it. Okay. I haven't done it. Well, I take that back. What's it been? 7 years, basically since 2019. Sony cameras, mirrorless cameras, newer cameras, auto white balance is 99% accurate, especially Sony. That's the system I use. Auto white balance all day long. And I do plan to make a video about this, but seriously, for those of you, if you are still out here in 2026 manually changing your white balance throughout an 8-hour corporate event, like, what is wrong with you? Put that thing on auto white balance and let's pop it off. And here's the thing, you take that thing in the Lightroom, you get that eyedropper tool. I could literally fix almost any white balance issue in 2 seconds. Seriously. So I don't know if there's a fear or an anxiety or just a thought that like it has to be good in camera. But listen, my camera does 99% of the work for me. I shoot auto white balance, I shoot auto ISO, and that Sony camera is putting in major work. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Mac Beams already sent it and should be under R. Higgins' comment. Give me 1 second. Oh, Mac Beam, I do not see your question, Mac Beam. I don't see it. Can you copy and paste it one more time for me? I'll give you the last question of the evening. I don't see it. I do not see it at all. I'll give you a little moment to get that going, and then otherwise we're gonna have to call it a night. So I'll give you a minute or so to copy and paste that comment, and then we're gonna I'm gonna have to bid you guys adieu. Mm. He says, okay, just asked again. I don't. Okay, there we go. Here we go. All right, last question of the. Wait. That's not you. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Somebody snuck in a question. What's good, Gregory? Mac Beam says, what does your weekly outreach routine look like in practice? I need a tighter system and would love to learn how you structure yours. Definitely want to dive a bit deeper. All right, guys. I gotta let the cat out the bag. All right, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but don't hate me. Just look at this as what's to come. I'm gonna be 100% real with you guys. In the year of 2025, I don't think I manually sent a single cold email or made a single cold call. All right, you guys caught me red-handed. Guys, I have so much repeat business, so much word of mouth business. My deal sizes have gotten so big. Clients keep coming back for bigger and better deals that I actually don't really have to go hunting for jobs and clients anymore. And that is a fact. Now, just so you guys are aware, I am in, or I just finished up my third year of being in corporate photo and video. So when I tell you guys it's like a 3-year runway, by the time you get to year 3 and year 4, you are able to slow down just a little bit. You don't have to like go and like get after it and grind. You don't have to do that. I have so many clients that I have retained for 4 or 5. I think my longest client is 6 years with me now, and I have several other clients that are in the 3 and 4-year mark. It just starts to stack and compound, and eventually, your whole year just kinda schedules itself. And that is, again, going back to the very first step one. That's the beauty of corporate photo and video. That is why, hands down, this is going to be weddings, portraits, kids, families, all that. Because your years, when you do it correctly and retain business and raise your prices and add services, you make more money, but your workload doesn't go up. And that's a fact. So, not gonna lie, I'm telling you guys to do what I used to do back when I had no clients. Once you get the clients, remember, every client you get this year, your goal is to make that one less client you got to get next year. All right. I hope that helps. But yes, do the outreach. Okay. Call everybody and anybody, get your clients by any means necessary. And 3 years from now, you'll thank me. I promise you. Okay, last question. Last one for real. What's the best way to get into corporate work? I have been doing event photography for a few years, mostly small parties and events and some chamber work in the past, so like level one events, and would love to leave my 9 to 5. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me bring this, hold on, let me get this keyboard out the way. Let me bring this mic a little bit closer. Hold on, hold on. All right, Gregory, listen, I'm talking straight to you. Talking straight to you, brother, brother, brother. It is 100% possible to leave your job. Should you do it today? Under no circumstances. All right. But how do you get in? I made a video about this. You don't get in, you just make the pivot. You build the corporate website, you put the corporate pricing, you understand what corporate clients want, you increase your authority. If you don't have the portfolio, then your number one goal for the first half of 2026, you specifically, you need to do as much free work as you possibly can. Now, let me back up. If your skill level is really good, you might actually be able to start getting some paid gigs. But if you want to learn photo and video, because I saw that you do event photography, right? If you want to learn how to do video, you need to go ahead and get your video skills up to par and start shooting some stuff for free. Your goal is to get your website as polished and as ironclad as possible, right? And then after that, we just do what I've talked about. Email those 3 people a day, get on Bark, get on Thumbtack, talk to every single person you've ever known on earth and tell them you do corporate photo and video. On LinkedIn, you do not say you work for X, Y, and Z company. Even when I had a 9 to 5 job, my thing said professional traveling photographer and videographer. I didn't even care, because I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to be known for. So regardless of wherever you find me in the interwebs, if you came across Jarrell Truelove, you found or you discovered that I did corporate photo and video. So I need you to go all in, Gregory, all in, especially since you plan or would like to leave your job. Then I need you going all in more than anybody. Okay. I know, you might get off at 5 o'clock. Man, 5 to 7, you need to be emailing people, and I have done this, you need to be waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. and spending 1 or 2 hours cold emailing and then going to work. I ain't telling you nothing I've never done. I have done it. I've done it for months and it works. Okay. But that's all it is, brother. It's pricing, positioning, authority, raise your prices, get your portfolio, do the outreach, get on Bark and Thumbtack. You will slowly start to get clients. And the secret sauce, okay? The secret sauce, I need you to get into community with 1 or 2 other photographers who do corporate photo and video work, so that they can hire you as their associate so you can get on the job training. You might be able to travel, you might be able to learn. And for me and my buddies, we don't really care. We allow each other to add the work that we shoot for each other into our portfolio. Now, some people are janky about that, but me personally, if you shoot for me and you're like, hey, can I put this in my portfolio? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Go ahead. Do it today. Put it on your website before I put it on my website. So that's another pro tip for you, Gregory. Find some people you can connect with and get under their wing, quote unquote, and get them to hire you, that's going to help out a lot as well. And you said, I have done video work before, just not corporate. So we'll definitely work on that and make those changes and join your community, man. Shout out to you, Gregory. We look forward to having you. And for those who haven't joined the community, one thing is that I do allow people to just send me your website. I'll give you a website audit. I'll take a look at it. I'll give you some recommendations. So if you want to do that once you join the community, I got you covered. All right. So anyway, guys, shout out to you, Gregory. Shout out to everybody for the comments. We're going to go ahead and close out this live for now. But hey, man, thank you guys for rocking with me so much. Make sure you lock in, like, share, subscribe. And as always, guys, let's go ahead and get this corporate bag. Until next time.